Hi, thank you so much for participating and bringing your light and your love and your joy to this call today, March 21st, to help mitigate the negative effects of the coronavirus. If you've been following along with each call, we've done blessings and a group healing, and then a particular focus and topic for healing and or teaching you some practical everyday tools that you can use to keep your sanity, to keep your peace, the peace place. I know for me personally, I've had to recover myself several times, in the last few weeks. I'm just grateful that I have tools to recover uh, quicker, and so that I'm not staying in that fight, flight, freeze, tension, fear mode for too long. And, I encourage you all to re listen to definitely the first one if you are experiencing a lot of fear, because that first call helped with that one. And every call, we've got some group healing, and there will be more of that today too. So come on, come all, bring everybody who you know who could be served by this and who would want to be of service by doing these humanity blessings that we always do on every part of the call. Um, and today's going to be a bit of a workshop style. So after we do blessings and group healing, I'm going to put you guys into Zoom breakout rooms where there's two or three of you in every room, and I have a set of questions that I would love for you guys to talk amongst yourselves with and get a sense of community, and letting you all know that we've got each other's back. And these are questions that'll get you um, reminding you of positive things, okay? It won't be questions that are gonna like empty your trash. Okay, these will be inspiring questions. and and I also wanted to comment on the terminology of lockdown. I found that instead of, like, when I was using lockdown as the way I was thinking about it, at least here in California. I mean, in my part of California, it's been strongly recommended for over a week now for everybody to stay home. So when I've had people, or when I've wanted to leave the house or something, but I had this like feeling of locked down. It was suffocating, it was stifling. So I stopped using that vocabulary, because the truth of it is we can still like go outside and go for a walk. I see families in my neighborhood walking and talking and laughing and actually spending time with one another as their own little family unit. We can still garden, we can still play with our pets and animals, we can read, we can binge watch Netflix. I mean, I'm in sweats and yoga pants every day. I mean, I have a shirt on top, but like I'm wearing sweats on the bottom. Okay. So that's like what life is like at home, So everybody who's willing to show their home life, if you're in sweats and no makeup or whatever, please do so. Come and participate on these calls. And when you're willing, please show your video. I would love to see your face. It's part of just that community and connection for me, and I think for most of us. So if you're comfortable with that, click on the bottom where it says to start your video. Like, you have to like actually, if you're on a computer, it'll be on a bar on the bottom, and if you're on your phone, you have to click on your picture And then you can mute and unmute, and you can start your video and stop your video. Okay. And please no driving or operating heavy machinery while doing these calls. Okay. Um, I think that's all the setup that I want to do for now. Let's go ahead and get going with our prayer and blessing. Hmm. So just be aware of your heart. Let your heart chakra breathe. Let your heart open, because love will neutralize the fear. And when your heart chakra is open, it helps your crown chakra to get more open, so more spiritual blessings and healing can pour through you. Hmm. Good. And be aware of your crown chakra, smiling at your crown above your head, on top of your head. Good. Thank you, God, Divine Mother, Divine Father, all the great, great ones, spiritual teachers, spiritual elders, angels, saints, helpers, guides. We thank you. Thank you so much for the blessings, the help, the protection, the known and unknown gifts. Thank you for the prosperity and abundance and creativity and a stronger spiritual connection and oneness with you, Lord. Thank you so much for all the blessings. Amen. Now, I want you to keep your eyes closed and form the intention that you are connecting up with your higher soul. So, with your inner eyes, look up, connect up with your higher soul. Because the stronger spiritual connection you have, the more peace and calm you can be, the more love, the more light that you can bring to this planet and to your family and your loved ones. And any time that you feel uh, any negativity of any kind, connect with your soul, connect with God, and you'll recover yourself. That's my go to every time I am freaked out. Okay. And then I'll have more faith, more trust, and like a knowingness, not just mentally thinking that everything's going to be okay, but a knowingness that everything is working out and will be okay. All right. So I'm going to guide you in Master Choa Sui's I am affirmation. Okay, so eyes closed, look up. You can still keep your hands on your heart if you are willing to. I am the soul. I'm not the body. I'm not the thoughts. I'm not the emotions, nor am I the mind. The mind is only a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine light, divine love, divine power. I am connected and one with all. I'm one with my higher soul. I'm one with the divine spark within me. I'm one with God. I am one with all. We are one. I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to ad lib a little bit. I am the soul. Keep connecting up to your higher soul. I am not the body. I am not the tension, the stress, the fear, the worry, the fight, flight, or freeze, or survival tension. I am not any panic or frenzy. I'm not any fear. I'm not the media or the media's fear. I am not the lies and deception and false information that is also being spread on the internet and the news. I am not the ignorance. I'm not the anger. I'm not the shock. I'm not the bitterness or resentment. I'm not the chaos. I'm not the scarcity. I'm not any fear that the appropriate amount of food, supplies, etc., will be provided for me and my loved ones. I'm not the sadness of what's happening in the world. I'm not the anger and bitterness of what's happening in the world. I'm not any thoughts or emotions, nor am I the mind. I am the soul. I am the soul. I am the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine light. Let divine light radiate so bright that it expands out into the world, into this universe. Your light, your brightness illuminates the dark. Take a deep breath and expand. Good. I am a spiritual being of divine love. Let your heart and your crown chakras open up even bigger, even brighter, and be love. Let this love heal you, heal the planet, transmute all negativity into love. Be love. It is already within you. It is your divine birthright. I am a spiritual being of divine love. Love, love, soften, love. Breathe into it, soften and relax. Love, good, very good. Love also means nurturing, having loving kindness and compassion, sweetness and tenderness. Love for you, love for thy neighbor, love for Mother Earth, love for all of humanity, every person, every being. Love, very good. I am a spiritual being of divine power. Let yourself get very grounded, very solid, and just be that vessel, be the instrument for divine power. Connect your feeties to Mother Earth, get grounded, and be divine power. Let divine power disintegrate all victimhood, all weakness, all helplessness, all hopelessness, all woe is me, everything that you and others are doing to disempower yourselves. I want you to let that be disintegrated, disintegrated, disintegrated now. All fear of your power, disintegrate now. When you are a divine instrument of power, it is not yours. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You can just be powerful, be an inspiration, be a strength, be a rock, be still, and take action when it's time to take action. Let yourself be an instrument of divine power. The world needs you. Get out of your little way, your personality and ego. Let that step aside and let your soul take over. Your higher soul guiding you, being an instrument of divine light, divine love, and divine power. And you just be it. Be it. Breathe it. Think it. Feel it. Share it with others generously. Good. I am connected and one with my higher soul. Look up, look up, look up. I am connected and one with my higher soul. I am connected and one with my higher soul. I'm one with God. I am one with all. I am one with my higher soul. Go up even higher. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am one with God. Father, we are one. Divine Mother, we are one. Great universe, we are one. We are one. We are one. Now be still. Be in the oneness. God, God, God. Yes, my Lord. Thank you. Yes, thank you. May we all physically, tangibly, viscerally feel your divine presence within and without. Physically feeling held by you, feeling held. Every cell is held. The body is held. The soul is held, loved, protected, provided for, taken care of, loved. God's light, God's love, God's power is within you and around you. Feel it. God's protection is with you. Be still and know God. Very good. Can you allow for even more stillness? Very good. All right. Please imagine the earth in front of you and bless every person, every being with divine light, divine love, divine power, with peace and harmony, with goodwill and the willingness to do good, with generosity, kindness, love, 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 with faith and trust, the divine protection and safety, with a knowingness that as a whole, we will get through this together. Keep pouring your love, God's light, God's power through you. Yes. Good. Very good. Bless your family. Bless your friends. Bless your loved ones. Bless your jobs. Bless any new jobs that you'll have. Bless the medical professionals, service providers, truck drivers, Amazon and various food deliveries, the mail deliveries, the pharmacies, the grocery stores, the gas stations, all of the essential services that are open. Bless people with wisdom to stay home if they can and only leave when it's important and necessary, and to wash their hands, don't touch their face, use all the proper precautions that they can. May they be willing to even, what some people are saying, take their shoes off outside, take their clothes off at the door, leave them outside, take a shower right away when they get home after interacting with people. Whatever steps calmly that they can take to mitigate this, may they do so. May the world produce more hand sanitizer and face masks and medical equipment and respirators and whatever is needed to get the proper care out. Thank you, God, for keeping and inspiring and inviting sanity and peace and calm and wisdom to make the decisions by using wisdom and intelligence, and to have the discernment to know what is true information and what is false information or partial truths, which are the worst because they seem like they're true, but they cause more hysteria and fear. So may all false and half truths be disintegrated. May only what's accurate be in the ethers and in the media. Thank you, God, for blessing every person, every being on this planet. Amen. All right. Keep breathing and meditating. I'm going to officially do some group healing. So relax and let go. Seems like you guys are significantly more relaxed than you were a half hour ago. Keep going deeper into that. Good. Let your front and back solar plexus chakra be cleansed and healed. Let your whole body be cleansed and healed. Thank you, God. Good. slough off all the contamination, all the falsities and untruths, all the fear, panic, hysteria, mania. Cut your cords to it. Cut, cut, cut. Release. Let go. Let your immune systems get healthier and stronger. Let go, let go, let go. Good. Good job. Let go in your throat and head and chest. Good. Good job. Now let yourself get grounded, energetic roots down into the earth, minimum 10 to 15 feet deep, 10 to 15 feet wide, minimum. Release excess energy down into the Mother Earth. May Mother Earth be blessed with clean air, clean earth, clean water, spiritual, loving people who take care of her. May Mother Earth be healed and regenerated. Blessings be to Mother Earth. Good. Okay. How do you feel? You can unmute yourselves or type it in the chat. I see some smiles. Very good. And it looks like some of you are typing. Betty says hi. Terry's hi. Karen feels awesome. Wonderful. Good. I want to give you guys a moment to, integrate what we just did before I move on. So that's why I'm pausing to let you get back in your body and hear from you, either verbally or via this chat. Okay. And feeling much better now. Wonderful. Great. Gorgeously free. Is iPad June? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. Wendy's relaxed. Terry's blessed. So blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's for ketos, ketos, ketos. Relaxed and free, says Catherine. Wonderful. Very good. Okay. All right. So, on the rest of this call, there's two things that I want us to do together as a group. One is some community connection, and I'm going to break you out into some Zoom rooms where two to three of you will be in a room together, and I'll give you a series of questions and I'll set you guys up for that. And and then we're going to do some conscious creation. We're going to come back together in the room and do conscious creation so that we can create and manifest our lives getting easier and easier, healthier and healthier, brighter and brighter, more loving, more prosperous. Okay. So let me get you set up for the Zoom rooms. And um, before I put you into the Zoom rooms, I need to remember to pause the recording so we don't have 10 minutes of lag time in this video. And all of your conversations will be private. As you know, I try to keep a really safe, wonderful, juicy, yummy space here for all of you. So keep that safety. And as you go into these groups are not designed to just be like, you dumping your stuff onto people. These groups with these questions are designed to elevate, to bring your vibes up, to connect, to have love and support, to meet new people, new friends, to exchange phone numbers or contact information with each other if you feel inclined to do so, when you're done. So those are some of the key things, and I I'm going to give you a few more things to set you up during the chat. One person in your group needs to be a timer. So when you break out, I want you to get into like one person volunteer to time, and then depending on how many people are in your group, you can, determine how much time you guys need. Okay. Um, and the right now, I was thinking 10 minutes. So between three people in the group, that's, approximately 3 minutes per person to talk. And um, when I post the questions here in a moment, you'll have to click on your chat again at the bottom of your screen to see them once you get into your Zoom rooms. And when the 10 minutes is over and I invite you guys to all come back into the main room, it can take up to a minute sometimes to get back. So just be patient. You weren't disconnected. Just give it a little time. And Zoom itself has been pretty overloaded with how the volume of people that are using their service for all of the schools and companies and everybody. So it could take maybe even a little longer. Not sure. Um, and to just come back and when you get into the main room, just be still and quiet, and we'll start when everyone's back. So those are the things that I wanted to do to set you up. And here are the list of questions that you'll each have approximately, 3 minutes ish, depending on how many are in your group. So there are questions like your name, where are you from, who are three people you'd like to reach out to stay socially connected, What is your favorite song that helps you stay in your heart and trusting God's got your back? What are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life? And then, if you feel inclined to exchange contact info, you're welcome to do so. It's up to you. And um, so I figure if we keep it focused on, light and connecting kinds of questions, then you'll get some great energy out of it. Um, and possibly new friends from across the globe. So I'm going to hit pause on the recording. And so, how was that? Did you enjoy connecting with some new people?
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That was good. So much for your time, Tiffany.
You're welcome. Did you guys need more time or was that a good amount?
It's good. I enjoyed it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're not about isolation here. We're about connecting virtually. So good. Great. Um, Wendy, I'm not sure what you're referencing in that text to me, so I'm not quite sure. Um, Anybody else have any comments or things that they need or could be helpful for future regarding the breakout rooms?
I think they worked great. Thank you.
You're welcome, June.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah, it was. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I'm gonna mute myself because I have people here that's working
Yeah,
around my daughter, so I don't want the noise. It's okay to disturb us.
sure. That would be wonderful for you to um, mute yourselves. Okay. Here, I just muted you all at once. Okay. So Wendy mentioned that Marianne Williamson is having, I'm not sure if it's a call or at least a request that everybody pray together around the world at the same time, 12 p.m. Eastern time for 2 minutes. So that'd be praying for 2 minutes tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, and 12 p.m. Eastern. Okay, great. Thanks. Now that you guys are feeling more connected and vocal, I want us to do some conscious creation. So I like to do it via the remember game. That's what I call it. Um, One of my friends and mentors, Allison, had mentioned that Joe Vitale taught her that it's easier to create from the future, like standing in the future, looking backwards, right? So with this remember game, it will be as if you guys, like, as if we're all like post COVID, looking back and then remembering things, and it's the trippiest, coolest, funnest way to do like this conscious creation work, because things just manifest when I do the remember game with myself. I do both sides. So I'll demonstrate. um, so it would be like, I remember when the whole world prayed and meditated together on March 22nd, 2020 at 12 p.m. Eastern time for at least 2 minutes. And I remember how much it just brought light and peace to this planet. and love, and people just calmed down. Do you remember that? And then you guys mentally or verbally are like, yeah, I remember that. And so this is this is how we're gonna play the game. Now, if I'm by myself, I do both sides. I'm like, hey, do you remember when your clients all were able to keep their jobs or somehow found a new job during COVID and they kept prosperity going? Yeah, I totally remember that. They were so prosperous and grateful. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples, and then mentally or verbally, I want you guys to all say, like, yeah, I remember that. And then after I get through my list of things that have popped up, then anything more that you guys want to chime in there, I want this to be interactive and fun. Okay? All right. I remember when there were no more cases of the virus and that everyone was healthy. Do you remember
I remember that.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was great.
that? Wonderful. Do you
I
remember?
remember that it happened much faster than they were predicting.
Oh, yeah, that was so cool.
That.
Isn't that cool that we got good news?
Yes, it's perfect.
Hmm. I remember.
I remember that it shifted humanity and everybody was so much kinder to each other and so much less selfish and so much more connected and going out in public. Everybody was just happy to be out. And I just remember how everybody was so loving toward each other.
Yeah. I remember.
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that too.
I remember how we learned to work together and like support each other and encourage each other and look out for each other all the time. And it created stronger bonds in families and communities and a lot more love in the world. I remember that.
Hmm.
I remember that too.
I do too.
It's beautiful.
I remember how people learned how to take care of each other, alternative medicine, essential oils, music, fun things to do, and taking care of each other.
I remember that.
I
I
remember that.
remember that.
That was awesome.
I remember how it really helped also parents with the schooling and with the teachers and having respect and finding out how their children are really behaving and everyone's come together and it's cohesive and it's just so beautiful, the appreciation that everyone has and how readily everyone is to learn again, and it's just fantastic.
That's awesome. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember the huge jump in appreciation for teachers.
Mhm.
And pay raises.
Yeah. That too, that
Awesome.
too.
They finally got what they deserved. That was so awesome.
I remember that
I
parents
remember,
taught their
Iris, for that.
I remember that everybody started treating even like the common workers, right? The people at the grocery store, the people at the pharmacy. Like I remember when everybody just started treating everybody else with so much more elevated levels of respect.
I remember that.
I remember that.
Wow.
For that.
I remember when I was able to finish high school pretty much exactly on track.
I remember that.
I remember attending her graduation. It was so cool. We got to have commencement.
I remember that too.
Yeah, I remember I sent out all those pictures. I was such a proud mama.
Aw, I remember that. You texted me some.
Look, Tiffany, she did it. Blow the nest. I remember all of the hard work that she's been putting in, keeping up her running training daily, paid off because they were able to put together some track meets before the end of the school year. It was so cool to get to see her run.
Don't you remember when I made it and ran at state?
Awesome.
I remember that.
For that.
I remember when the grocery stores were fully stocked and normal hours were normal and people were just buying what they needed and everyone was so happy and kind, and it was just such a great environment to have everything readily available again and everybody be appreciative that everything was so readily available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember Amazon groceries and Amazon Fresh started delivering again so that we all had fresh foods.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yes.
And I remember the farmers were so happy to be back in their farmers markets and, selling even more than they sold before because everyone was so appreciative.
I remember that.
Remember there was such
I
an
remember the
attitude of
Holy Miracle.
gratitude. Go ahead, Miracle.
I remember the Holy Miracle that all of the small businesses stayed afloat and they didn't go into debt and they were able to keep their doors open.
I remember that.
Yeah. I remember that the whole world prospered. And we prospered in an easy and elegant way where we had more time for the things that we discovered were truly important to us.
I remember that. Yes, finding the balance in our lives and finding what's truly important was really great. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that the businesses, just the whole world raised to a higher consciousness. It wasn't just about the dollar and just going for profit, the balance and doing things because it's the right thing to do. We were able to transition to that, and it was such a miracle.
I remember that too, Wendy. And I also remember that all of the portfolios and stocks and bonds and IRAs and everything was regenerated, built back up above where it was before all of this started.
And
Yeah.
so fast.
I remember that.
I remember that we have 3-day work weeks now instead of
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And still got paid the same amount as if it was
Or more.
Well, and I remember how they distributed the work more equally. So the businesses stayed open and were profitable, and we were able to reduce our homelessness and our unemployment rates just by making some really good choices.
I remember that.
Yes. I remember that the people who fostered all the animals that have been in those animal shelters and they decided, to foster them during this time, that they kept them so that all the animals were safe and fed and loved.
I remember that.
That was awesome.
When everyone got to try new things and pick up new hobbies during that chill time.
I remember that.
I remember people starting to talk to their animals and actually being able to hear what their animals were saying because they had the time to do that.
I remember that.
Do I need to remember teaching a workshop on that?
I remember that you remembered you needed to do that.
I have taught those in the past.
It was called Dr. Doolittle.
Tiffany style.
Okay, I'll think about it.
I remember Tiffany teaching lots of new seminars on lots of new topics.
I remember that.
Okay. I remember that lots of people came. They were appreciative. I remember that people who could pay paid well and paid generously. And I remember that it was fun and easy. And because it was fun and easy, I continue to do them.
I remember
Here,
that.
here.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, and I remember that it created an even greater Tiffany community, that we were able to connect more and more, and get to share where we're at on our journey, because we had this common language and common focal point through Tiffany's teachings.
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that my grandma was able to listen to us all talking by clicking on the mute and unmute and making sure that your volume, that you're listening from your phone or whatever instrument you're using. I could remember you all heard us.
I remember that.
I remember how fast this whole thing came on fast, but it left fast, and we were just all recovered and better for having had fun through it.
I remember that. I also remember how the mortgage industry and real estate and all of the associates affiliated with the mortgage industry came back on. Everything was great. It was better. It was easier. People were kinder. They were nicer. And it flowed, and it was just magnificent.
I remember that. I remember the government passed out money because they had an abundance of it and were generous and sharing it with Americans, and other countries did the same with their people, and we all recovered quickly. The student loans, some of, where it was appropriate, those got lessened or wiped out, or at least payments suspended until everything, was passed, and we made it.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
remember
that.
that.
I remember that.
I remember when there was a greater awareness of personal hygiene, and when we were finally able to hug and shake hands with friends again.
I remember
I
that.
remember
I
that.
remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that namaste
Oh.
wasn't associated with the virus, but actually because we truly saw the divinity within one another.
Wow, I
I
remember.
remember that.
Yeah. Wow.
Martina, you're muted.
Oh, I think she has
I know.
kids in the background.
Oh, okay.
A house, a family.
Gotcha. Well, I could see her lips moving, but I couldn't hear her.
She was giving it to us in spirit.
Love it.
She can also type it out, and I'll say it for her if she wants. Ah,
This was really fun. We gotta go.
okay. Thanks, Wendy and Kaylani.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. I remember that we all kept practicing the remember game because it was so fun, and we did it on our own.
I remember
and with
that.
others too. All right. Do we feel complete for now?
Yeah.
All right, let's just do a little closing prayer.
Thank you.
Thank you, God, Divine Mother, Divine Father, all the great, great ones, spiritual teachers. Spiritual elders, angels, saints, helpers, and guides, we thank you. Thank you for the ongoing love, peace, joy, happiness, mercy, grace, ease, vitality and health, abundance, divine protection, help in known and unknown ways, blessings galore. Thank you for letting this be one of the best things that has ever happened to humanity.
Mm.
Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so our next call is next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, and invite anybody to these that you think would want to bring their light and could be served by it. The recordings, I'm recording this one to my laptop rather than using the Zoom cloud, so it will be up within an hour or so, assuming I can get it that quickly. But today, it'll be up today, and so any recordings that you haven't yet listened to, please do so, because everyone's got a different topic, a different theme, and I'm open to suggestions for the calls coming up on next Wednesday and then Saturday at the same time. So Wednesday the 25th at 6 o'clock Pacific and March 28th, Saturday at noon Pacific. All right. And that's all for now. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah. Actually, there's one more important thing I forgot to mention. Sorry. So I know that at least you guys who are on this call are interested in like consciousness work. And before the virus was coming out, I had already planned on doing an online course for highly perceptive people. It's a 2-day workshop that I recorded a couple years ago, and I've turned it into an online course since then, and I only do it online. I don't teach it in person anymore. So the first module goes out next Wednesday, and then we do weekly group coaching and healing calls on Tuesday nights for 6 weeks. And because of, what's happening in our world right now, I'm giving everybody a $400 scholarship to it. So it's only $97 instead of $497. So if you or anybody you know would be interested in that, please come, and I'll put the link for it here. There we go. Highly perceptive people online course. Okay, and it's very kinesthetic, with a lot of partner exercises. So ideally you get a buddy to work with you. Some people in the past have done virtual buddies. But if you got an in-person buddy, that's even better. And yeah, this is like the one time that I'm giving it at such a great price, only $97 if you know of anybody who would be interested. And that's all I've got for now. Okay, I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Welcome. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.